Welcome to Buckets N Banter, guys, where we talk to people about sports. Welcome back to the 14th episode of Buckets N Banter, guys. And in today's episode, we have another very special guest. And I know I keep saying special guest every single time, but I gotta say, man, all of my guests are really, really special to me, at least. And in today's episode, we have Jay Sachdeva, who is the founder of NoLookNation India, which is one of the largest growing content channels in India. I have been seeing it everywhere. It's blowing up. There are a lot of athletes. It has also recently become an athleisure brand as well. So it's really, really exciting. And also, Jay and I go way back
Way
from
back.
our battles at SNU.
Rivals.
I think we could call ourselves rivals. Rivals, right?
Yeah.
How does it feel, Jay, to be on Buckets and Banter? We've been talking about it for so long.
It's great, yeah. And I think you're one of the few people who I have personally seen who are so much passionate about this sport. So it's always I always, whenever I get a chance to talk to Joseph, it's always a great time. From GSW, Curry to LeBron to what we feel is the future of basketball in India to comparing India and the UK. Malab, it's honored to be here,
Yeah,
brother.
exactly, dude. Like one thing that I have to point out is that every time Jay and I've had a conversation, like any call that I've called him up for any, like most of the conversation, I call him up for basketball related things only, and it's always such a positive conversation about how we look forward to the sport, about like, and it's like always talks 10 years in the future, like 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future, where we want to see basketball go
True.
in India, and which is why I'm very excited to have you on this podcast, because
Hmm.
I wanted those conversations to actually come aboard into a
Of
podcast
course,
where
of
people can
course.
actually listen to it. And just to give a little bit of a background on what No Look Nation India does, do you want to just give like a small background before I start grilling into getting to know No Look
Of
and
course. So
you?
as of right now, we are a content creating space. We are in the content creating space. We make
Okay.
content. We go to events. We cover events, and I think we initially started we started only as a podcasting page. I have a friend who's my co-host, Manad. So
Yeah.
after every game, him and I just used to get on the call. Like I think this is the 2015 2016 GSW, the rivalry years. So we used to call,
Yeah.
and for hours we used to talk how that one play would have changed the
Yeah.
game, how LeBron could have done that, how Curry could have done that. And one
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
I think 2020, when COVID hit, I just realized, if I'm spending hours and hours discussing all this sports, see, passion wise, so I think if any sports person plays a particular sport for 8 to 10 years, you
Yeah.
cannot take the sport out of that person. You cannot.
For sure.
He can never be not an athlete.
Yeah.
He can never
100%.
be a normal human. Even if he's doing a corporate or anything that he's doing, he'll always be an athlete in his heart.
Yeah.
So in COVID, I came up with an idea. So at that time, content creation, I didn't know how to make reels, shoot content, anything, nothing. I just
Okay.
wanted to make a NBA podcast in India. क्योंकि मेरे उस
Yeah.
वक्त दिमाग में था, I used to watch Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless a lot. Undisputed. They
Yeah.
had a
Yeah.
show called Undisputed.
Yeah.
So I used to watch that a lot because Skip used to hate LeBron, and then Uncle Shannon was there to
Pure hater. Pure hater.
defend
Yeah.
the glorious king.
What is it? Lakers and Steph Curry,
Yeah.
Lakers and
KFC, UFC, Lakers in 5.
yeah. Yeah. So it started during COVID, and that's when you started
Yep.
No Look. It started with the name NBA Nation
With
India, which
NBA Nation
transitioned
India.
into, yeah, which
Yes. So earlier, मेरे को ये था कि I gotta have the name NBA. NBA, because
yeah,
I only wanted to be
of course,
resonated as a NBA podcast.
yeah,
Whatever we do, it's just we talk about, we are like geeks and we just want to talk about ball.
yeah,
So
for
we
sure,
initially started as NBA Nation India, but I think
yeah,
2.5 years down the lane, 3 years down the lane, we realized that podcasts should be one of our aspects and not the whole brand should not be around that. So then we
yeah.
transitioned to No Look, and I think that's
Okay,
for the good.
which is actually quite interesting, is because you guys also have this community space of No Look
Mhm.
Nation India, where there are like over 250 members, and
Yeah, 270 to 80.
every
Yeah.
day there are like just conversations happening left, right, center. There are like 10 people arguing about one, two, three, four things. I'm just like, and it is, people are very engaged in that channel. How does it feel to actually
True.
know that people are engaging with No Look Nation India in such a personal level?
Hmm. On a personal thread, just a heads up to all the people who are watching. So we have a chat community, WhatsApp chat community, dedicatedly only for the Indian NBA fans. So if you're an Indian
Yeah.
NBA fans, if you're an Indian NBA fan and you want to like rage bait or hate on somebody, please welcome. Well, there are of course
Very safe
there
space.
are there are community guidelines of course, but I think as far as I remember, we are the biggest community, NBA talk community in all over India right now.
Yeah.
So it's good, yaar. Matlab, after every game, chahe, I think even if it's a Detroit game or we even if I think the last remember the our community was most active during the Serbia versus USA game. So
Okay.
at that time also,
That was
like even
insane.
apart from the NBA, insane game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's good, yeah. Every time you wake up, even in 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, you'll have guys like what happened? We won, yeah, memes and all over the place. So it's good. मतलब हमारा aim यही था कि we want to create a segment that is not there. We
Yeah.
want to create a category that does not exist, and I think abhi long way to go. I think you and I are in the same way. Matlab, I think we are
Yeah.
nowhere near where we want to be, but I think it's a good start.
But like I do want to get into this side that I'm guessing, like, because for me, I started Buckets and Banter as a hobby. I was
Hmm,
like,
hmm, hmm,
I'm
hmm,
in the UK, have nothing to do, haven't
hmm,
found a job. I want to
hmm,
figure out something to do. I also started off by talking, ranting about NBA,
hmm,
just like how you
hmm,
started. But then I
hmm.
transitioned into actually interviewing people because I
True.
know that I like talking to people and I've
Hmm,
like building relationships. That's why sort of like it was a hobby. Now even though it's still a hobby, but I'm starting to take this
hmm.
more seriously. But for you, No Look Nation India has transitioned from a hobby to an actual brand, and there
Yeah.
are lot of people involved now. How did that
Hmm.
transition happen, and how do you feel about it now, dude? Like just in a general, like how do you feel about
Hmm.
where you've reached with No Look Nation India over these few years since lockdown?
I'd say the journey has been like it's been. See, I still remember the first 100 followers that I got. See, the first 20 followers were super easy. I
Yeah.
just uploaded a story on IG that I've started a new podcast. All my friends were like, "Who? मतलब जिन्होंने
Oh,
सुना भी नहीं
super
होगा,
good.
they don't even know the full form of NBA." So the first 20 followers, super easy, super easy. So I
Yeah.
still remember. I still have the screenshot of my first 100 followers. So that was a biggie. So
Okay.
at that time, I realized कि मतलब I genuinely want this to grow,
Yeah.
and from just like 4 years, I think we'll complete 4 years in June 9th, on June 9th. So
Okay.
from starting just from an NBA podcast point of view to where we are, I think you cannot if you I think if you're going for a brand building phase, or if you want to do something for your sport, I think you can't pre-plan that. I never
Okay.
thought that we would end up being an athleisure brand. We would be invited as influencers on a INBL exclusive event. I never thought of
Yeah.
this. See, I think you just chop wood, carry water. You
Yeah.
just go with the flow. Of course,
Yeah.
you gotta figure out. See, about the Indian audiences also, you gotta figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
You got to figure out. See, initially when we started doing the podcast thing, मेरे को ये था कि इतने लोग NBA देखते ही नहीं है. मतलब there is
Yeah.
not much audience जिससे we can interact, जिससे we can talk. See, today we have like easily 5 to 6 people who have their NBA Indian talk show podcast. So that
For
when
sure.
we
Yeah.
started, there was only one page that I knew, and that is Bollis Bay.
Yeah.
Only two
Which
guys
is
from
shout out to
Bangalore.
Ballers Bay. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Wallace Bay. They were the only ones who, like, they were also like, how do you say, Indians, but doing it in English. So we were the
Yeah.
first NBA talk show that in our mother tongue that
Was in
started the
Hindi.
talk show. That's in Hindi.
Okay.
So वहाँ से start करा, then we got into content creation.
And you mentioned one thing about INBL Pro and you guys getting invited, which is
Hmm.
which is something huge. India introduced their first pro basketball league, which went on for a month's time. I think it went on for a
Yeah,
month,
40,
and a
45
lot of
days. Huh?
international, yeah,
Hmm.
a lot of international players were there. A lot of Indian players got exposure to play organized form of basketball, and you
True.
guys got to cover that tournament as well. What was that experience like? Because I was sitting here in the UK and watching it.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
what was that experience like being there, present for those games, covering those games, and just the experience of having professional basketball in India?
So the invitation was only for the one game. I think the inaugural, when they announced that there will be a league. So we were invited
Okay.
for that, and I personally, I never thought that basketball in India can be that big. Like
Yeah.
everything from the like chote se chota, even if I talk about it, from cheerleaders, from the fun
Yeah.
activities that happens inside the games, everything was top notch
Okay.
in that aspect. So
Okay.
you could feel that they're here to build something. Matlab,
Yeah.
I literally felt that this is the IPL of Indian basketball. So that
Ooh.
was great. That was a great experience.
Okay. They invited you. What goes around in the background for executing what you need to execute to get out the content that you need to get out for NNI? Like, what's the process like? Let's understand that, because I also personally don't know. I don't think I've had this conversation about how difficult it can get.
So I think if you personally are in the content creating space, one thing that you should have, I think 100% should have, that is creativity. So the
Okay.
moment we were told to come around 3:30 at the INBL. I think
Okay.
the matches started at 5:30, but all the influencers were told to come around 3:30. And me being
Okay.
basketball, like I was super hyped, so I came at 3. They called it
Okay.
3:30. I
Perfect.
came at 3. So the moment I entered, even the court was being renovated. They were like painting and everything. They were adjusting the
Yeah.
rings and everything. So the moment I entered, I just had one. I don't know how it works. I just had one thought, and we also, that reel jo hamari thi, so that
Yeah.
ended up being the most viral reel of INBL
Yeah.
space or that event. So the moment I entered, I just had a vision कि अभी सारा stadium is empty.
Yeah.
So just a thought, like see, there was a free event. So मेरे को पता था कि अगर free event है इंडिया में public तो आएगी. So all
Yeah.
the people will show up. It's not a ticketed event. So I just
Yeah.
had thought कि I'll just make a video of the people of the empty seats, and
Yeah.
then make the transition that all the seats are filled. Like we are here to build something. So I think
Yeah.
creativity is the way to go.
Which is actually interesting because in terms of creativity, like I did engineering before this,
Hmm.
okay, and my creativity was zero over there, zero. I hated it. I could not be creative.
Hmm.
But the fact that I'm working with Team Sports right now, which is the company I work with, it's a sports
Hmm.
analytical startup, and with Buckets and Banter, ideas come
Naturally.
like when I'm sleeping. I just got up from my nap and I'm just thinking, like, I'm just lying down in my bed. I'm like, and then Buckets
Uh,
and Banter comes into my, I'm like, wait, I could be doing this. I could be doing
True,
that. I could be
exactly.
doing this. It
Hmm.
just pops into your head. And honestly, that feeling of it coming into your head and just like
Hmm.
trying to execute that is such an exhilarating feeling. I'm sure you can relate to that. I think
Of course,
that's
of
how
course,
it
of
probably
course,
worked for you, right?
of course. See, if I tell you, see, a lot of times it happens. Like I have a team of editors and I have a team of like content creators. If I tell
Yeah.
them, like even if I tell you, कि यार, I give you an audio, कि make something on this on the spot. It's not
Yeah.
possible. कि you think
Yeah.
something out of spot. मतलब, see, I think if in most cases it could be, like not all the time. So
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think in the content, like I still remember, like if we're just walking and something happens, you're like chalte chalte ki yaar, if I think I can create a reel on this. I think this would. And there was one more reel. So Haryana ke, they were senior team ke trials were going out. So
Yeah.
one of my friends Divansh was participating, so I went. And वहाँ पे
Yeah.
there was Tau Devidal Stadium, ठीक है. So यहाँ पे there were
Okay.
the trials that were taking place on the side court. There were people who were skating on the basketball का court. So the
Yeah.
moment I saw that, अब मैंने कहा भाई, मैंने कहा ये तो दिखाना पड़ेगा ऑडियंस को. क्या
Yeah.
लाइक
This
आई
is
गोटा
this
शूट
is vision. Yeah.
दैट. तो बस हमने वो रील रिकॉर्ड करी एंड इट वेंट वायरल. तो मतलब भाई,
Oh.
you can't pre-plan what you want to shoot. मतलब you can have the idea, but I think
Yeah.
it comes naturally when you're passionate about something. It comes naturally.
Okay. So like you've mentioned that so you have started an athleisure brand. You work in content space, you cover tournaments, and one more thing that you guys do is that you have NNI athletes, which is very interesting because I've seen like one of the most important thing that I want to do with this podcast is give exposure to Indian athletes, like
True.
get professional athletes on board and let the audience, because like in terms of exposure, in terms of like, let's talk about cricket. People from their childhood have people to look up to. There's MS Dhoni, there's Virat Kohli, there's Sachin Tendulkar. They have people to look up to. But in the basketball world, you don't really have anybody that is in a position where like, oh, I want to be like him. I want to be like that person. Like we don't have that. We don't have that space for our younger crowd. Which is another
True.
thing I noticed. Like when I interviewed my Dheeraj and Sumant, who played in the
Mhm.
INBL Pro as well, when I had that interview, I went for a tournament in Bangalore when I'd gone to India. I come to India this December, and few kids just came up to me and told me that, Bhaiya, I really liked your podcast. I
Hmm.
really enjoyed. And I was like, you watched my podcast? What? Why? And
Uh,
and that's what I've noticed, that these kids don't have the outlet to actually listen to the people they look up to
mm,
in any space. Like they don't know how to approach them. They don't have the means to approach them. So this is one thing that I
True.
want to give as a platform for athletes to come on, so that people who look forward to professional athletes can actually know who they are as people, which is something that you guys have also been doing. You guys have been
Of course.
having NNI athletes, which I am an NNI athlete. Am I?
Of course you are. Yeah. See,
Yes.
I'd consider you more of a team no look. See the
Oh,
we
oh,
we see whenever we'll play in a tournament, you and I are going to play together as team no look.
yeah, perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. But yes, tell me about the concept of how you guys came up with NNI athletes and you guys participating in tournaments. Like, what was that? How did you build that concept, and how do you go about that process?
So iska concept was ki earlier, I think when I was in college, so
Yeah,
hardly there were any tournaments like in a year, like three v three
yeah,
tournaments, 5 tournaments, hardly any tournaments. I'll say the last 15 or 18 months, the amount of 3v3 tournaments, and I'm not even saying sort of Delhi NCR or sort of Mumbai or sort of Bangalore, not even the cities, every city.
yeah,
If I talk about
yeah,
Meerut, Lucknow, Ahmedabad,
yeah,
Gujarat, Punjab, everywhere you go, there is a poster, 3v3 poster that we're organizing. I think that's great. I think
yeah,
even if that's for a cash prize or something, malab, it's good. Yeah, you're getting exposure without being in a proper, like you're not even part of college, or you have
yeah,
graduated from college. You are a working corporate and you get a
yeah.
3v3 exposure. I think that's great. So I think
I think
that
I
is
completely.
hmm. So that is when we realize ki even if we play like 4 or 5 tournaments, I gotta have a set team that could represent our brand. And of course, I
Yeah,
had one vision in mind. Like when I was an athlete, or I think you were an athlete, even
still
if
an
I
athlete, still an athlete. No, both
still
of
an
us still an
athlete.
athlete.
So if hypothetically I'm at my prime, I think my prime was around 2021 or 2021.
Yeah,
So there was no brand, or I'm not even saying कि Nike Adidas वाला कोई भी big name, मतलब if
yeah, yeah,
and I had like four constant guys who used to go and play in some tournaments. So there was no recognition from even if I'm playing good, even if I'm winning like 4 or 5 tournaments in a row, there is no
yeah,
recognition for me. So I was like,
yeah,
the things that I have missed as an athlete, I'll try to give it to others. So now we
yeah,
have two male athletes that we have under that represent us. So that is one is Rajveer Singh Bhati, who plays for Indian Navy, and other is
yeah,
Devansh, who's right now in US. And we have
yeah.
similarly we have female athletes, Garewang Hussain, we have Kamakshi Chaudhary, we have Rashi, and then we have Ishika. The people that we have on right now, I think the IQ, the way they play, go our girls team has not lost one match, and I think we have been playing tournaments since last 15 months, 16 months, and we have all the tournaments that we have gone to, we have won. हमारे लड़के फिर भी I
Wow,
think एक दो बारी हारे हैं, but I think
damn, that dude,
and see one
that's an
I'll tell you
achievement.
one wild take.
Yeah,
Whenever there's a national championship or something under 23, anything you say, कि senior, veneer, I would
yeah.
rather pay my ticket and watch the girls athlete play rather than the men's category. मतलब मैं कह रहा हूँ कि you just go
Ooh,
and watch these girls. The Indian female hoopers are crazy, next level.
okay. And
I
and why do you say that? It's
I
because of the IQ? Is
see IQ. See, I think see one factor that for me is see मेरे को पता है men's category में सब even though see I'm part of the basketball community, but I know कि सारे फर्जी खेल रहे हैं. Even if it's the under 23
Hmm,
category or some other category, I know कि they're I think it's kind of unfair to the ones who are actually that of that age. In girls,
that
I
age?
don't
Yeah,
see
yeah, yeah.
that much. So in the female category, I know they're 20 and they're hooping like that. I know they're 22 and
Hmm,
they're hooping like that. So the
yeah.
Karnataka girls, even the Delhi, we came third this time, and I watch every single game. Too good.
Okay.
It's good. Yeah, 3 pointers, the driving. मतलब मैं वही कह रहा हूँ, I'm really impressed how the how the Indian female athletes are shaping towards success. It's too
Yeah,
good.
and which is very fascinating is because, like, I would not otherwise know names of any of these players you mentioned, but because No Look NNI has been promoting these athletes, even for a person who's not sitting in India and just going to tournaments, I still have updates about everything that happens in Indian basketball, and largely. because of No Look Nation and other content channels like Overtime India and all of them. Like shout out to all guys, because like
All these pages, yeah, of course, they're
this is
working great.
so important. It's so
Hmm.
important that people get exposure and
Hmm.
people are recognized for their achievements, because
Hmm.
without that you can't, like there was this one thing that I studied in like people need something to identify with,
Of course,
right?
of course.
And if we give them a platform in which we are recognizing players who have done exceptionally well in the sport,
Hmm.
people are bound to follow. That's what I
Hmm.
believe in.
Hmm.
That's what I believe, and that's
Hmm.
what you guys are also doing very well.
And
So
I think
that was,
sorry to cut you in
yeah,
between. I think pata iska see, whenever we go for a tournament, we make sure
yeah,
our players get the recognition, they get the clips, they get the highlights. Or iska,
yeah.
I think positive for the environment, positive क्या है, people come to a tournament to beat No Look. उनको ये होता है कि भाई क्योंकि ये they
Oh,
know कि they know कि ये they'll shoot the content, he'll put on his page or something. कहते हैं कि
yeah,
अगर
yeah.
No Look को हरा दिया, then we'll have a we'll have a,
Then
we'll
we're
have
one level up.
so that's great.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
great trash talk. This competition. This is what you live for. Yeah, this is basketball. This is
Yeah,
love.
I completely agree with that. And
Yeah.
on that note, like we've talked about athletes, you're also an athleisure brand. Like you've just transitioned, and honestly, it's
Hmm.
very insane to see. I see random videos of people in the basketball
Hmm.
community in India, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
wait, that has they have an NNI T-shirt. That's an NNI jersey. Like I think I saw many reels about this new league coming out, like this primary basketball.
PBL.
I'm
PBL.
not
Yes.
PBL, and I was just like, wait, he's wearing NNI T-shirt. Like how did this start? Like how did you transition from being a content creation channel to having
Hmm.
NNI athletes to now actually having an athleisure brand as well? Like how did that transition takes place? Like what was the vision that came into your head?
So I think for see if you wanna follow your passion, there has to be some monetary aspect involved in it. मतलब that you got to be clear with
100.
that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any podcast or there's anything. Even if a content creator is just making reels, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
he's earning, he's getting back something. So
Yeah.
that if even if you're investing, there's even if you're investing $100, you're getting 80 back. So I'd say
Yeah.
that's also counts as following your passion. So full credit to of NoLook.in, which is our athleisure, goes to Srinagar University. So when
Oh,
I
okay.
went there as a master student, so a lot of when I went there, I had like 1,200 followers. That's it. When I went,
Yeah.
and right now I think we're at 9-10K. So
Yeah.
वहाँ पे जाके I got a feeling. वहाँ पे जाके I got to know that there are the local vendors की market is huge. There's humongous market, but the athletes को
Yeah.
the quality that they deserve at
They don't.
a decent rate, they don't get that. So
Yeah.
plus every see Monday को मेरा tournament है, मैं I'll get a jersey for only for the basketball people. फिर
Yeah.
next 15 days I forget about that. Then there's the next vendor. See, there's no I'd say there's no uniformity. There
Yeah.
are,
There's
of
no
course,
consistency with vendors.
there's no consistent. There are existing brands, but SNU में
Yeah.
जाके I SNU was the first, I think the first team order that I got. So that was
Okay.
from my uni. So वहाँ पे जाके I
Okay.
realized कि this market can be explored, and people tend
Okay.
whatever we gave, people love that. So we were like, of
Yeah.
course, I think we got to start with that. So from
Yeah.
SNU, then
And
we
now Bennett
yeah
University also
yeah
is
Bennett.
wears NNI jerseys.
And I think in the first 4 or 5 months we catered around 800 athletes. Now we have shipped an order to America. We
Okay.
have orders from, I think the farthest is either it's Karnataka or it's Assam. So we've shipped our
Okay.
jerseys to Assam, Karnataka. So all over India we have shipped. So right now I
Okay.
think we have 2,000 athletes from August
Okay.
of last year to
Yeah.
present. We have made the family of NNI dot in the No Look athleisure up to 2,000
Yeah.
plus athletes. So that's a see. It feels good when people are repping a brand. No, and I
Yeah.
always take a feedback. Like I have a feedback form. Even if
Yeah.
sometimes, of course, see, you can't be perfect all the time. People tell me ki they expected the jersey to be longer lengthwise.
Yeah.
They expected it to be tighter. So see, you gotta have standard size, of course, but you
Yeah.
you tend to take all of this and make the product best fit for the athletes. क्योंकि मेरे
Yeah.
को पता है, see, football की market, cricket की market, they have round neck t-shirts. So I
Yeah.
think that is available. H&M ki bhi utha lo, you can sample that size and then deliver it to people. Basketball,
Mm.
see, we cater all the sports, but my personal, of course, love lies for
Is
basketball. So
basketball.
basketball ke liye, to create a jersey, to create a hoodie, matlab you I of course I'm super invested, and I think
Yeah.
this is something that I would want to, and I think I will make sure that No Look one day is one of the most trusted and loved brands in India.
You know why I also find so much, like, I really love your idea is because I have played basketball in junior college in Bangalore. I have played basketball in university, and everywhere, every year, we used to be like, always there used to
Hmm.
be a conversation. Okay,
Uh,
guys, we are getting our jerseys. Give your size, give your name, and you never know what to expect. Like, you give a design, and you're like, okay, I've given the design, but like, am I going to get that? Probably not.
uh,
Like,
uh,
none of my jerseys fit the way I wanted to fit. My one Bennett jersey is like super tight in my shoulders, and I'm just like, I look buff in that, and I'm like, this is like insane. Like none of them fit well. None of those vendors ever got it on time. We probably went for some tournament without jerseys because it just never reached on time. Like
of
things like that
course.
have happened so much, and seeing your brand NNI actually
Hmm.
be consistent and be uniform, like you said, in terms
Of
of
course.
distributing product has been amazing. I have
Hmm.
seen you grow in the last 5 years,
Hmm.
and like
And
if I
see,
randomly am
hmm.
scrolling and I see
Hmm.
an NNI reel, I'm just like,
Hmm.
nice.
Hmm.
I like it. I like this for Jay, man. I really like this for
and
Jay.
uh, and when we started with that leisure way of it, no, हमारा
Yeah.
हमारा आइडिया यही था कि यू गॉट अ वी ब्रिंग विनिंग ऑन टेबल. सी मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि
Okay.
इसको खेलना नहीं आता मेरी जर्सी पहन के he'll start dribbling, but we had a
Yeah.
mindset, if you're wearing No Look, you will be a winner, and we positioned
Okay.
ourselves like that. Even our quote that we have is always ahead. So like if
Okay.
you're seeing the
Yeah.
logo
Yeah.
here, that's the way our logo is designed. See, this
Okay.
is the path that everybody has to go through to reach here. So
Okay.
always ahead. So
Ah.
that's the journey that an athlete has to take. And we have received so many messages. I mean, genuinely, keh raha hu. So from colleges that are not so famous, we
Yeah.
have partnered with IIT Bombay. So they happen to won the Inter IIT. The female athletes won
Yeah.
Inter IIT. Then we have a college Shahid Bhagat Singh. I think they their captain who ordered the jersey, they texted me, "हम आपकी jerseys में जीत गए." So it feels great, yaar, when people
Oh
acknowledge
my.
that they won wearing your jerseys. I think that nothing beats that feeling.
I can only imagine, dude. And that is honestly very, very, very nice to hear. Like
Hmm.
the way you've been handling and progressing with NNI has been great to see. And I just want to ask you, like, before
Hmm.
we shift from NNI and go more into your personal life, I want
Of
to ask,
course.
like, where do you see NNI in the next 5 years?
I'd say one thing that I see, I'm a very, I ride very high on college basketball. So my team and
Okay.
I are, we are like in the R&D phase. मतलब मैंने किसी को share नहीं
Okay.
करा. I think you're probably the first one that I'm sharing with. So we are in the
I'm
R&D phase
honored.
of uh, launching a college basketball league. So that's something that we are planning. So because
Okay.
मैं college basketball से बहुत fascinated हूँ कि, and
Okay.
मेरा personal take यही है कि college, when you come from school, college is the one that is elevating you. कि if there's a good league, all India को आता है, then you get a medal, then you apply for job, ABCD, whatever
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
So plus you and I know, you played for Bennett, I played for SNU. College basketball के that days, that is something to live for. So
Yeah.
that is something that we are planning in the coming few years.
Okay.
And if I talk about No Look Nation as a whole, of course, I think live streaming is also something that we are looking forward to. There are a lot of things that come into the picture. You got to have a full set team, internet connection, camera,
Yeah.
and all that. But I think that is something that we're also looking into. But as a page,
Okay.
I think basketball is growing very heavily. So even if you don't have a page right now, any of the viewers that are watching and you want to be a basketball content creator, I think this is the best time.
Yeah.
When I started, hardly any viewers, hardly any pages that did this. I think 2 or 3 pages tab the. Lekin ab every other page they are doing very good.
Okay. That's good to hear. I'm sure whoever's watching this podcast, at least I'm guessing 20 people hopefully
There'll be
take
more. There'll be
something out
more.
of this. Take something
five
out of
years
this.
later,
Definitely.
5 years later, you can add 3 zeros to this
Ah,
number.
yeah, yeah.
That
5 years
I
later,
can
I share this
guarantee.
reel, then 10,000 people. But yeah, so that and the journey with NNI has been amazing. Now, I also want to take like a slightly bit of a throwback because
Hmm.
our kind of our journeys met each other through basketball tournaments. Like how
Of
you said
course.
that you have a lot of passion for college basketball.
Hmm.
How, like, what was Jay as an athlete? What's like, why did you play that sport so passionately that you actually ended up creating a channel based
Mm-hmm.
out of it and a
Mm.
brand out of it?
So I think this was I think I was in fifth. So our school, I did my schooling from Alcon International School. This is in Delhi. So we
Okay.
had some sports only till fifth, and after that there were different sports. So
Okay.
judo was a sport that was only available till fifth standard. So
Okay.
at that time also, I went to tournaments. I don't know if it was state medal or what. I had a bronze medal in that, and everybody was super hyped. Ki I'm the
Yeah. Yeah.
next big thing in
Judo.
judo in our
Yeah.
school. But
Yeah.
in the summer break of sixth class, I had a crazy growth spurt in terms of my height.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
I came back to school, I just heard one thing कि भाई इसको basketball खिलाओ इसकी height he has a good height इसको basketball खिलाओ.
Of
and
course.
and that I think is the last day when I went to the judo room that we had. And
Yeah.
उसके बाद मतलब even though that was a forced move from my
Yeah.
PT teacher कि go play basketball because you're tall, and I think
Yeah.
that ended up for the good.
So, how long has it been since you played competitive basketball, and do you miss it?
Of course, I miss it. So competitive basketball, I think the last tournament that I played was Dunk Street. So I played in the
Okay.
corporate category. So, but I think on a personal level, I have made peace that SNU was my last fully competitive, and where I used to put in work. See, अब क्या है,
Hmm.
अब मैं I don't practice that much that I expect that कि अगर if I'm going to a tournament I'm winning. So
Yeah.
I've made peace with that. Those were the
Okay.
years for the athlete Jay. So now
Yeah.
I'm all now. Of course, I love to play, but I think it's more towards passion. I go hoop with my
Okay.
boys. We grab lunch afterwards. I'm more
Yeah.
passionate towards the business aspect of things rather than the playing aspect
Okay.
of things as of right now.
And that's great because we need more of that now. I think we have a lot
Mm-hmm.
of players. We just need to
Yeah,
give them the opportunities
of
to
course,
go up to the next level.
of
And
course.
with that, I think I would like to come to the last segment, which I do with all of my guests, where we do this something called Dead or Alive.
Dead or alive. Okay.
Basically, yeah, three people dead or alive from any historical era
Oh
that you
damn.
would like to sit down, have dinner with, and like three people and you.
Of course, see, my glorious king, gotta be there. Gotta,
Of
gotta be
course.
there at the table,
Yeah.
of course. See, there
Yeah.
is Kobe. I have a
Okay.
Kobe tattoo on my calf also. So a big.
Okay.
See, Kobe, I not say that I watch all of his games, but the mentality, the videos, the hard work, the
Yeah.
stories that you hear, see, truly inspiring. Even if you're not a basketball player, you just want
Yeah.
some inspiration. Just go on YouTube or just browse through Mama mentality, and you'll have a lot of motivation for that day.
Yeah.
And third, I think very controversial, but I think I'd love to meet Adhav Arjuna. So I'd
Other
love to
version.
know.
Okay.
I'd love to know what his plans are for Indian basketball. See, he has, as of right now, from where we were to where we are, he
Yeah.
has done a very good job, and I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to what he has for Indian basketball, what he has for the athletes, how
Yeah.
he wishes to make sure that we get a NBA level superstar in the coming 8, 10, 12 years, and we're also
Yeah.
among the candidates who will be hosting the Olympics. I think
Yeah.
2036 I think India is one of the key stakeholders. So
Okay.
if you are the host, you get your team to participate in
Automatic.
that.
Yeah.
So that would also blow everybody's mind. So I think I
Yeah.
love to know. And since we both are from the basketball background,
Yeah.
no better guy to converse with than Adhav Arjuna himself.
For sure. Like I've actually had the honor of meeting Adhav as well, and
Hmm.
had a great conversation with him about the future of Indian basketball. He seemed like he wanted to make changes, and
Hmm,
like
hmm, hmm,
he
hmm, hmm.
has a vision. Hopefully,
True.
hopefully everything just pans out, man.
Of course, see, it's a long journey for sure. See, you
Yeah.
are working for a sports background. You are working for a sports company, so you
Yeah.
obviously are well aware of the business aspect of things. Only passion
Yeah.
cannot fill your pockets. Only passion cannot drive you to do something. And for
Yeah.
Indian basketball also, see, we don't have a sponsor for our basketball teams. We don't have
Yeah.
logos. We don't players don't get like chartered flights. We don't have all of that because
Yeah.
business aspect नहीं है basketball का.
Yeah.
Earlier,
True.
this was the same scene for kabaddi. Like now,
Okay.
if you watch the kabaddi league,
Yeah.
the auction, players are sold for 2 crores. Players are sold for 3 crores. That for an
Yeah.
Indian sport, and basketball is a
Yeah.
global sport. Kabaddi is an Indian sport.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once we get basketball like figured out how to make the business aspect of things work around, I think India is the best market for everything.
For sure. For sure. That's great to hear that we all have visions. We have our independent paths, like we have discussed, both of
Mm,
us, that we both have paths which are very separate from each other. But eventually down the line, I'm sure my path with sports tech is going to meet your path with NNI,
of
and
course, one day.
there's going to be some insane collaborations. And last thing I want to ask you is, do you have any message for the viewers, any message for the people in the basketball community? Like, what's your message just for them?
So one thing that I always say at the end of my podcast, I love to say that.
For sure,
So,
go for it.
so even of course you subscribe to his channel, comment on his video, of course that's one thing, but if you can do something for good or for the basketball community, make sure you share this video to a fellow Indian basketball fan. So I think that
Yeah.
would be more than a like, more than a comment. Even just making sure that people share the video is a big achievement or a pat on the back for us.
That's perfect. So you heard it from the founder of NNI, that like, share, and subscribe both to Buckets and Banter and to NNI. And with that, I think we can sign off from the 14th episode. It's been wonderful having you, Jay. Had a
Same
lovely
here.
conversation, and hope to see you soon.
Of course, great to be part of the AV. See you soon.
Perfect. See you.